Have you ever found yourself playing Ocarina of Time Randomizer and found yourself thinking, if only there was a way to get to that chest, or maybe I should do a no logic randomizer. In that case, this video may be of assistance to you. I'll be going over several very useful glitches that can not only make your randomizers more fun, but allow you to introduce harder settings into your randomizers to spice them up. If you're wondering where the D-pad came from, I'm using a randomizer file to show off these glitches, and the randomizer comes with a D-pad. As an aside, the randomizer is based off of the 1.0 version of Ocarina of Time, so any glitches shown here should work on a 1.0 version of Ocarina of Time as well. If you want to know about glitches for the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time, there's a great video by benstephen that I'll link in the description below. The first glitch I'll introduce you to is ISG, which stands for Infinite Sword Glitch. This glitch is the basis for a few other glitches we'll learn later, so this is a good place to start. It's rather simple. If you interrupt a crouch stab with an action on the A button, such as checking a sign, Link's sword will start glowing because it's doing a slash on every single frame. That's not actually the only way to get ISG though. You can also get it from Navi. If you crouch stab, then quickly hit target and C up, you can interrupt the sword slash with the Navi text box and get ISG that way. There are also a few places such as boss doors where Navi will appear and you can get ISG from that Navi text box as well. Besides the obvious benefit of being able to attack enemies with ease, ISG also makes it so Link can't fall off of ledges, because he can't fall off ledges during a sword swing. This is probably the biggest benefit of ISG and it will come up a few times later. While we're on the topic of Link's sword, let's briefly go over power crouch stab. This isn't a glitch more than it's an oversight in the code of the game. Link's crouch stab doesn't have a set value, and when entering a new area through a screen transition or booting up the game, the crouch stab defaults to the lowest damage value Link can have. But since it doesn't have its own set value, it will do the damage of whatever Link's most recent sword swing was. Jump slash is the highest damaging attack Link can do, as demonstrated here by its ability to kill this Tektite in one hit, whereas default crouch stab damage takes 4 hits. But if we do a jump slash first, then crouch stab, you can see it only takes 1 hit, because Link's crouch stab is doing jump slash damage. Crouch stabbing is much faster than jump slashing, so this is also quite beneficial for killing enemies. Link also holds up his shield during a crouch stab so he can protect himself from dangerous enemies like Stalfos, while being able to deal big damage. Also, if you recall, the method to get ISG is by interrupting a crouch stab, so ISG will deal crouch stab damage, so keep that in mind. Next up is a glitch that you probably won't use too often in randomizers, and that's the method to escape the forest early. Usually you'll just check open forest on the randomizer settings, but in case you don't and you want to escape the forest, or you want to do it on a regular game of Ocarina of Time, here's how. Walk over to this guy and cut up the sign until it's all gone so you can't target it anymore. Hug the wall next to this guy and get an angle around here. You can try this forever, so just keep adjusting until you get it. Then you crouch stab so your sword hits the wall and recoils you backwards, then hit A to interrupt the swing, which gets you ISG and the recoil pushes you inside this guy. Once you close the text box, you'll be on the other side of him and he'll continue to try to prevent your escape, but you can roll under him as he pops up onto the side of the wall and escape. Another method to escape the forest early is with a Navi Dive. You might actually use this one in Randomizer because you can do a save warp to Link's house, run into the Lost Woods, and use this pool of water to get to Zora's domain rather quickly without the hassle of going through Zora's river. The method to do it is rather simple. Jump onto this ledge here and climb up. Don't move an inch and wait for Navi to say hey. Once she does, hit your sword button twice and then spam C up. The first press of the sword button makes Link take out his sword, which pushes him back slightly and makes him fall off the ledge. The second press of the sword button makes Link do a jump slash since he's now in midair. Once the jump slash animation ends, Link will take a step back and fall off the ledge. But since you're spamming C up, the Navi text box will also appear as he falls off the ledge. Link can't interact with water while talking to Navi, which causes him to sink to the bottom of the pool, and then once you close the text box, you can just swim into Zora's river, right outside of Zora's domain. Another useful place for Navi Dive is in Kakariko Village in order to get to the bottom of the well without requiring Song of Storms. For this one, climb onto the ledge and pull out a Deku stick. Once Navi shows up, jump off the ledge. Once you make it over halfway across the well, do a jump slash by hitting the Deku stick button. Then spam C up. You'll sink to the bottom and can go into the bottom of the well. There may come a time where you don't have Navi for whatever reason. Maybe you already talked to her and now she's on cooldown. Maybe you failed to do the Navi Dive because you jumped too far with the Deku stick, but you still want to get to the bottom of the well. Don't fret, there's a method that I find quite enjoyable to get into the bottom of the well using a Cucco. This is the Cucco Dive. First, get ISG off of this nearby sign. Next, slowly approach the nearby Cucco. Pick it up and you'll be hitting it infinite number of times. By the way, if you're using the fast bunny hood setting on Randomizer, wearing the bunny hood breaks this glitch, so take it off before you pick up the Cucco. Once you reach the well, put your back up against it, hold target, and then backflip and shield at the same time. The Cucco Swarm cutscene plays, Link can't interact with water during it, and he sinks to the bottom of the well. Next, a fun one, the Megaflip. This is achieved by rolling into a bomb while it's exploding, while holding shield and then backflipping. The recoil of the bomb explosion gives Link speed, and when he backflips he maintains that speed and can cross large gaps. There's a specific frame you have to roll on to make it work, but I don't remember and I kind of just feel it out. If you're playing Randomizer on an emulator, you can just save state if you need a Megaflip so you don't run out of bombs or health. I'd recommend just creating a 100% randomizer file to test out some of these glitches if you want to get good at them. After all, practice makes perfect. A good place for a Megaflip is here in Death Mountain Crater. There's a reward up there that typically requires planting beans to get, but if you stand in this spot, dry roll towards the ledge to grab it, climb up, take your sword out and crouch at the same time to not move, then jump slash, you can then shield drop a bomb, roll forward, and then backflip, and you'll be right on the edge and the perfect distance away from the bomb to Megaflip. You then roll into the bomb when it's about to blow, and then hold down and backflip. Holding down the entire time gets you more distance, I believe. Then you can just walk up there and grab the reward. You can also just use hover boots to cross the gap if you happen to have them. Roll for speed, pause, equip hover boots, and you'll make it with ease. Also, if you're up here at the top of the crater, you can make a flip down into the Great Fairy Fountain with the right angle, and skip needing the hammer. You can also perform what is known as the Mega Sidehop. This has some specific uses like skipping past King Zora here without needing Rudo's letter. Stand on the corner, hit C up, line up the middle of your C down button with the edge of this wall, turn 180 degrees, jump slash, shield drop a bomb, roll backflip, and then roll into the bomb as it's about to explode, but instead of holding down, hold right and side hop. This sends Link into the corner and he clips through the wall. The moment you clip, hit B to do a jump slash so that you land in the water, which extends out of bounds, and use your minimap if needed to guide you towards the exit into Zora Fountain. You can also make a side hop into Zora's domain without needing Zelda's Lullaby. I forgot to record that, so here's footage from one of my randomizer playthroughs probably. I'll show another place to make a flip later when I talk about each dungeon in detail. Next up is the Superslide. This glitch is performed by rolling into a bomb and attempting to grab it when it first explodes. It's possible but very tricky with one bomb. Two bombs make it easier because if one bomb hits another bomb, it will cause it to explode instantly. A very easy setup for it that seems to work quite consistently is to shield drop a bomb, roll forward, backflip, shield drop another bomb, backflip, then spam the hell out of A to roll forward once, and then on the second roll you should start super sliding. This allows you to cover great distances quickly, for example if you need to go across Hyrule Field to make it to Gerudo Valley or Lake Hylia. There is a variant of this glitch called Hyperextended Superslide, which allows you to change direction while maintaining the Superslide, but I am bad at it, so I'll find a good tutorial on that and put it in the description if you're interested in learning it. For the average casual randomizer player, I don't think it's particularly necessary though. There are a couple of places I found Superslide to be helpful in conjunction with hover boots, and I'll go over them later when talking about dungeons. Let's continue the glitches involving bombs, shall we? Next up is a simple one, ground jump. This allows Link to perform a short hop forward and up, something he can't typically do in this game. This allows him to grab onto ledges that would normally be ungrabbable. There isn't too much you need it for, but it is a nice time saver here in the Sacred Meadow. Kill this first moblin, then perform the glitch like this. Shield drop a bomb, roll backflip, and then spam A until Link freezes in place. Make sure you hold shield the entire time. You don't actually have to roll forward and backflip, you can just drop a bomb and back up a bit, but make sure that the A button changes to attack and doesn't say grab before you start spamming A. Not sure exactly why this happens, but Link tries to pick up the bomb while rolling with shield, which freezes him, and then he gets pushed a little when the bomb explodes. Nothing appears odd at first, but if you try to backflip, Link will instead do a forward hop, which you can use to get up here and skip the moblin-infested maze. Another place I forgot about where this is useful is the sliding puzzle room in the ice cavern. You can't do the forward roll and backflip setup because of the ice, so you'll have to carefully back up before spamming A. The last bomb thing I'll talk about is bomb hovers. There are some very difficult ones you can do, such as hovering up to Forest Temple if you don't have Hookshot, but the chances that you'll need to do an advanced hover like that are, even on no logic, is pretty rare, unless you're running particularly challenging settings, like requiring all stones and medallions. Just in case, I'll leave the best tutorial I can find that goes over that particular hover in the description below. You can hover up to the box in Graveyard if the reward is especially worth it, which you can check by rolling into the wall and hitting C up to clip the camera into the wall, revealing the contents of the box. If you're gonna hover up to that box, I recommend save states because you'll be hovering with your back to the wall, and you'll have to time dropping bombs and backflipping with the camera zoomed in, making it impossible to see how close the bomb is to exploding. Of course, you could always buy beans, unless you also shuffled beans, but an easier way to get that particular item is with the boomerang. Climb onto the fence next to it, move a bit to the left, aim the boomerang up a bit until the top of Link's head is lined up with the highest point the windmill reaches, throw the boomerang, side hop right twice, backflip twice, and the boomerang will clip into the wall on its journey journey, grabbing the item. Anyway, hovering loses one of the benefits of ISG, the inability to fall off ledges. If a Link shields some kind of damage while he's in midair, he also won't fall. Though you can't be too close to the ground or Link will still teleport to the ground. Which is why when you do a bomb hover, you always start with 2 bombs. To demonstrate a good place to hover, let's go to Lon Lon Ranch. As you enter, head left towards the fence you jump over after getting on Epona. Get ISG from a bomb. Make sure you throw it straight away after picking it up, as taking damage gets rid of the ISG state. Walk over to the wall, shield drop a bomb, side hop, shield drop another bomb, get in between the bombs, backflip while holding target and shield when the first bomb explodes. This causes Link to hover above the ground since he has the ISG state, but he will teleport to the ground after a second since he isn't high enough yet. That's what the second bomb is for, so immediately perform another backflip while holding target and shield, and now Link will be hovering. And he could stay there forever, but if you simply backflip one more time, Link will hit a cutscene trigger where he escapes the ranch with Epona, which actually gives you Epona. So you can use the bomb hover glitch to get Epona without Epona's on if you want her for something like getting into Gerudo Valley, or doing Gerudo Archery. Another place to bomb hover is here in GANON'S castle. You probably won't need to do this one depending on your randomizer settings, but if you have the trial set to uncompleted, you can go over here, across from the water trial, and perform the same exact glitch used to get Epona, 2 backflips with bombs, and a 3rd backflip to hit a loading trigger for the middle of GANON'S castle. I'll go over some more bomb hover usage in the dungeon section of the video. Next, I'll go over the Door of Time skip. Chances are you'll have the Door of Time open by default if you're doing randomizer, but on the off chance that you want it closed or you're playing the game regularly and want to give it a shot, I thought I'd explain how. As a child Link, there's a rather easy method using lunge storage. What is lunge storage, you ask? So, when you're holding target and you press up and B, Link does a little lunge attack. Lunge storage is where you cancel the animation and the forward distance from the lunge is added to Link's next attack, such as a jump slash. So you can get a wicked jump slash. And that's how we're going to clip through the Door of Time. So to do the trick, backflip onto this pedestal and stand on the edge. Turn around and then hold target and attempt a lunge. If Link falls off, you should be good. Now put your sword away and head over to the Door of Time. Get into the left corner, target the Door of Time, then side hop, dry roll, untarget and retarget during the dry roll to change your angle, and then you side hop right, dry roll, side hop right, side hop left, dry roll. Now from this position, tilt your analog stick ever so slightly to the right to do an ESS turn. If your angle looks like this, you should be good. So now just take out your sword without moving, which you can do by clicking B and then immediately hitting the shield button, and then just do a jump slash. The extra distance from the lunge storage sends Link through the tiny crack between the wall and the Door of Time, and now you've clipped through the Door of Time. Now that you're adult Link, you'll notice that the Door of Time is actually still there. This is no problem, you can save warp to return to the beginning of the Temple of Time and move on with your life. If you want to go back to Child Link, however, here's how to clip through the Door of Time as adult Link, which will require hover boots. Target this pillar, side hop, dry roll and untarget, do 2 ESS turns to the right, get into this corner, slash your sword twice, and immediately hit shield after each slash, then do a crouch stab, and then pause buffer until this frame with the light blue sparks. Then equip hover boots and unpause. Once you clip through the wall, hold right on the analog stick, and you'll make it to the other side. This one can be pretty tricky. If you don't hold right soon enough, you won't make it and you'll fall into the void. So practice makes perfect, and if you're on emulator, save states are your friends, so you don't have to do the setup over and over. Okay, that was a lot, so let's go over a super easy glitch, Ocarina Items. This lets you play the ocarina without having an ocarina. The method is quite simple. First, have a bottle. Fill it up with either bugs or a fish. Bugs are everywhere, so it should be easy. There's some bugs under this rock in the Kakariko graveyard you can get, and in order to perform the glitch, drop the bugs on the ground and then pick them back up. This puts the bottle in Link's hand physically, which is important. Now all you need to do is backflip, and while you're in the middle of backflipping, you hit the C direction that your bottle is on, and then either the C direction of an item Link can hold in his hand, or your sword button. So in this example, I backflip, then immediately hit C right, and then B. Once you land, Link takes out the item he can hold in his hand, and plays it like an ocarina. And it functions fully as an ocarina. This can be especially useful if you've decided to shuffle ocarinas into the item pool, and you need to play a song, such as Zelda's Lullaby, but you haven't yet found an ocarina. Everything in Link's inventory that he holds in his hand can work as a substitute if you don't have a sword. I find bombs quite humorous to play as an ocarina. Here's another fun one, equip swap. So you know how some items are grayed out as Child Link and as Adult Link? Ever wanted to use the hammer as Child Link or the boomerang as Adult Link? Well, good news, you can indeed. So in order to use this glitch, I believe you'll require Din's Fire on Randomizer because they changed how the cursor functions. In the regular game, you can equip swap as any age as long as you have any of the magics, but I believe the cursor always goes to the Din's Fire hole if you hold upright when transitioning to the item screen from the map screen, but I could be wrong. And maybe the rando cursors change or there's a setting for it, but just know that if you have Din's Fire, you can 100% do this glitch at any age. You can also do it if you have Deku sticks, but only as Child Link. So the way this glitch works is that you put your cursor over a grayed out item, such as the hammer, and then you hit right bumper to go to the map screen, then left bumper to go back to the item screen. Right before the transition ends, you hit up left on the analog stick plus any C direction. This confuses the game. The up left motion makes the game think you want to equip Din's Fire, as that's what the cursor would go to if you hit up left. But if you do it at the right timing, the cursor will still technically be over the hammer, so the game gets confused and equips hammer, even though it looks like Din's Fire is equipped on the item screen. And yes, hammer fully functions as Child Link. You can open up grottos and destroy rocks with ease. Oh, and yes, if you jump slash with the hammer, you can do power crouch stab with a sword and break rocks, which is a lot of fun. Hammer is the only useful thing to equip swap as Child Link. You can equip swap the bow, but it uses slingshot ammo, so it's kind of pointless. And if you had dreams of hookshotting around as Child Link, well, you'll have to either keep dreaming or go play Majora's Mask, because if you attempt to use hookshot as Child Link, he freezes in place and the game becomes soft locked. You can't move, you can't even hit pause, all you can do is load a save state or reset the game. If you don't have Din's Fire but still want to equip the hammer as Child Link, you can do so with Deku Sticks, but you have to go to the equipment screen instead of the map screen, and when transitioning back to the item screen, you hit up right instead of up left. Of course, you can also do this glitch as Adult Link. The only useful things to equip swap are Boomerang and Deku Sticks. Deku Sticks in case you need to do a puzzle with him or something, and Boomerang in the instances where you might not have Hookshot yet. Also, if you have Fast Bunny Hood enabled on the randomizer, you can equip swap Bunny Hood to use as Adult. Be wary of equip swapping Deku Sticks as Adult Link on a regular cartridge on a regular Nintendo 64, because it will crash the game. Emulator, Wii VC, Wii U VC, and Switch Online should work fine though. Next up is an interesting one, Actor Glitch. The place you'll probably end up using this the most is in Bottom of the Well, in order to get to the Dead Hand room without Zelda's Lullaby. First, you'll need a small key for the bottom of the well, then you head over to this crawl space. As you come out of the crawl space, the camera is stuck to this angle. If you move fast enough, you can roll over to the locked door over here, open it before the camera moves away from the crawl space, the next room will load and the key will be used, but Link won't walk through the door. This unloads most things in the previous rooms because the game thinks it needs to load the room you just unlocked. So you can go back under the crawl space, the bubble enemy is gone, and the water won't be splish splashing. You can head over here and just fall through the water. Under this crawl space now, the Skulltula isn't loaded in either, and you can enter the Dead Hand room to get the 2 chests in there. I'd recommend using save states because if you fail and unlock the door too late, you'll go inside and be unable to perform the glitch again, because the door being unlocked animation is vital to make the glitch work. Next, we'll talk about the Hookshot Jump. There are probably some random little places that this glitch is useful, but by far the most common one is to get into Shadow Temple, which has quite a good amount of checks in Rando. If you don't have Nocturne, or you don't have a means to light all the torches, this is your best bet. I recommend equipping the Hylian Shield even if you have the Mirror Shield, because there's a tell that will make this easier. Come over to this fence by Dampe's hut. Make sure the hookshot is in Link's hand. Target the wall, turn 90 degrees right, then side hop and dry roll. As you roll, hold up, and hopefully Link will bonk. Sometimes he doesn't bonk, and I have no idea why. But when you get the bonk, spam the hookshot button while he's bonked. He'll stand up and kind of twitch out a bit, lifting up the hookshot briefly. By the way, I think you want to be holding down target for the entirety of this. You want to hit the hookshot button the 3rd time he lifts up his arm. You'll know he's going to lift up his arm when his hat reaches the top of the silver curve on his shield. You can pause buffer, or just go for it if you're feeling peachy. If you're pause buffering, you want to spam the hookshot button as you unpause on this frame. Link hookshots the wall and gets sent high into the sky. You want to be holding down while he's ascending, that way you'll land up here on this ledge. It's quite possible to fall off here, so use this nearby Poe to get ISG with Navi, and then proceed. It's also possible and quite easy to get stuck here, so safe stating is recommended after getting ISG. Try to kind of stick to the top of the ledge and make your way to above these stairs, turn perpendicular to the stairs, and side hop over them. This causes Link to miss the loading trigger for this room, and the door blocking entry into Shadow Temple will be gone, but the loading trigger to get into Shadow Temple will still be there. And now you're in Shadow Temple. Before we delve into each dungeon and useful tricks for each one, let's briefly go over some quick tips for random specific little things. You can backflip over Mido in the Lost Woods as Adult Link if you don't have Saria's Song. Just use Hookshot to get an angle, backflip a few times. If it doesn't work, try a different angle. If you want to cross Lake Hylia quickly, you can place a bomb near the shore, hold shield in the water, and as the bomb explodes and pushes Link back, let go of shield, hold up, and spam target. This is called super swimming. If you want to get into Impa's house to get the one check without needing Hookshot or to fly around with Cuccos as Child Link, you can just jump onto these boxes as Adult Link and clip through the bottom of the platform and enter Impa's house. If you want to get into Gerudo Valley without the hassle of getting Epona, and you don't have Launch Shot, but you have Hammer and Hover Boots, you can hit this wall, and on this frame, pause, equip Hover Boots, and hold down. and the recoil from the hammer sends you across the gap. If you want to get the reward in the windmill without having to play Song of Time after the Dampe race, you can just hop onto this pillar and jump towards the middle of the windmill. If you want to get into the Sun Song grave and you don't have Lullaby, but you have Nocturne, you can teleport up here and run up and down the stairs like 16 or 17 times. This loads the graveyard over and over again until the game's memory gets overloaded and has to start despawning items. One of the first things it despawns is the Sun Song grave. Make sure once you get to around the 16th time to actually come out of the stairs and check. I think if you go over a specific amount, the grave may return for some reason. This chest on Death Mountain Trail is possible to get without hammer or bombs. Come up here, get into this corner, slash the wall, backflip, side hop right, ESS turn right until about this angle, then turn 90 degrees left, side hop right, and on this frame, do a jump slash and hold forward, and you clip through the wall. The collision is one way, so you can just walk out after getting the chest. I discovered this glitch watching ZFG do randomizers. I recommend watching him play randomizers if you have the time. You'll get better at them just by watching someone as skilled as him play. To get this Skulltula without the hammer, do a spin attack to kill it, put your sword away, get into this corner, target the wall, side hop, dry roll, let go of target, do a sword slash, then hold target, and do a jump slash. To get this Skulltula without the hammer, do a spin attack to kill it, then backflip onto the rock from the north side, and you'll get it eventually. Just try not to die from the falling boulders. Alright, that's the glitches gone over. Now let's enter each dungeon and I'll give you some good uses for some glitches and show you some neat skips and tricks. Starting with the Deku Tree. This dungeon is rather straightforward. The first tip I can give you is to actually avoid this floating platform when you first enter the room. That way if you don't have Slingshot, you can just hop on it and leave. Also, I think it's just faster in general anyway than shooting the ladder down. There isn't really much else to say until you get to the basement. I don't believe there's any chests in the rooms down here besides this first one, so you can skip them by doing a little setup. Come over to this seam, go to the left side of it and target the wall so you're lined up with it. Walk to the right side of the seam and roll until you stop moving. Backflip twice, then side hop right, side hop left, then hit C up. Line up the left edge of your B button with the middle of this root on the ceiling. Hit C up again, hold target and dry roll once, then dry roll a second time and start holding up after you roll. Link should jump towards the ledge if your angle is good. If not, try again. This skips all those rooms, saving you plenty of time. You can push the block a couple spaces, then get on it and jump towards this torch and take out a Deku Stick to light it, but it's a bit tricky and you might fall. If you want to play it safe, just push the block down as normal. Here's a tip to kill Goma fast. Pull out Deku Stick while in this hallway and jump slash into the cutscene. This stores Deku Stick jump slash damage on your crouch stab. The interesting thing about the Deku Stick is that it does the same damage as the Master Sword, so it's great for Child Link. Once the fight starts, hit Goma with a Deku Nut to stun her, then do 3 crouch stabs quickly, but don't spam. You want to time them just right and you should one cycle Goma. Next up, DODONGO'S Cavern. If you're doing Randomizer, I highly recommend you come here as Adult Link. There's no reason not to, and it makes it way easier. First off, there's only a gold Skulltula, and I think a Scrub Salesman on the right side of the dungeon here, so keep that in mind if you're doing Skull Sanity or Scrub Sanity. The likelihood that you'll need those is low, and you can always come back, so I recommend just coming over here, and you see that switch? Adult Link can just hop up here and step on it, skipping that half of the dungeon. If you do end up coming here as Child Link, you can also use the ground jump glitch explained earlier to get up to that switch, but that's not where the fun ends. Once you make your way up here, you can just hop up here as Adult Link. Oftentimes the keys will give you a little boost, and then when you cross the bridge, Adult Link can actually skip the Lizalfo's room by simply jumping over to this pillar, and from here you can get the chest that usually has Bomb Bag, hit the switch if you want, and blow up the DODONGO'S eyes. Don't forget that the wall at the end of this bridge has another chest. Once you enter the DODONGO'S mouth, Adult Link can actually just hop up here and push the switch, skipping even more rooms. King Dodongo may be the easiest boss of all time. It doesn't matter if you use Master Sword or Big Goron Sword, it'll take 2 hits to kill him. Of course, if you're Child Link, you can use the Deku Sticks, and it'll also take 2 hits instead of the usual 3 with Kokiri Sword. Throw a bomb in his mouth, jump slash, and then walk over on this little incline towards the middle. He'll roll past you without hitting you, and stop sooner, which speeds up the fight. For JABU-JABU, let me first show you how to get into the dungeon without a fish. There are 2 methods, one with the Kokiri Sword, one with the Deku Stick. With the Kokiri Sword, hug this pillar and climb up the fence. Face and target the pillar, and then slash your sword twice to get some distance. Hold target and then walk off to the left, and jump slash as soon as you walk off. This will give you some recoil and you'll hit the loading trigger to enter Jabu. Easier said than done, but there isn't really a penalty for failing other than having to swim back over and try again. You can also use save states to skip having to swim back. With Deku's stick, climb onto the fence about here where it sticks into the ground, turn right, and then walk off and jump slash with the Deku stick to do pretty much the same thing. There isn't much to say about JABU-JABU. You can use Rudo to hit switches if you need to. Either way, there's only a few chests in the rooms around where you get the Boomerang, and I recommend skipping the rest of the dungeon. Eventually you'd have to do a fight with a big Octo, and eventually you'd end up with a platform here where you'd put a box on the switch. You can skip all that. Come over here, this is the second room of Jabu, roll towards the ledge to grab on, climb up, take out sword without swinging by hitting B and then immediately hitting shield, jump slash, shield drop a bomb, roll forward, backflip, and then do a Megaflip like we talked about earlier. Make sure to hold down to guarantee you make it. Once you make it over here, you'll find that the switch requires something on it to stay pressed. Luckily, we don't actually need anything but our own body. Walk over to the middle of the door, face it, then turn 180 degrees. Roll into the switch to bonk the perfect distance away. Take out your sword without moving like we done before, then jump slash onto the switch. During the cutscene, hold up and spam A so that you roll right as the cutscene ends. Hit pause after rolling. If you pause here, let go of any direction, and just spam A, this will open the door. It can be tricky to pause in the correct frame. Luckily, it's very easy to reattempt. Once you get into the boss room, do be aware that Baronade is unkillable without Boomerang, so make sure you come in Jabu prepared, or pray that you find Boomerang in Jabu. For Baronade, once the jellyfish come out to play, a Deku Nut will instantly kill them, and a single nut might kill more than one as well. During the last phase, make sure to hit Baronade with a jump slash from a Deku stick if you're here as Child Link, which you probably will be, and once Baronade goes under the ground, you can actually just run into it and it will pop back up immediately. I think you also might not take damage sometimes if you roll into him, and he pops back up immediately and you can go in for another jump slash. 3 hits and he's done for. I don't really have any advice for Bottom of the Well or Ice Cavern, besides the ability to ground jump in Ice Cavern. Also, you can get this silver rupee by jump slashing into the red ice. Bottom of the Well, just do it as normal unless you want to do the actor glitch described earlier. Now on to the adult dungeons, starting with Forest Temple. There isn't actually much to be said about Forest Temple. You can skip Nina's Song of Time by doing a ledge clip into the Song of Time block, climb onto the right side, target the wall, side hop left, dry roll, untarget, and if you retarget on the correct frame right as Link falls off, he will clip into the block. Besides that, the only thing I can really offer you is a boss key skip. There have been many times where my randomizer settings completion requirements are 6 or 7 stones / medallions in order to get Ganon's boss key, and I'm actually good on items and don't need to go through Forest Temple. And sometimes I just risk it and hope that I don't need any items and do the boss key skip anyway. Right here in this main room, come up these stairs, get in this corner, aim your hookshot a little right of the doorknob, hold target, and backflip. While backflipping, spam the hookshot button. If done right, Link will have gained very little distance backflipping and will be on the other side of the fence. Just walk left and Link will clip into the floor. Hit A to let go, line yourself up in the middle of these stairs, and jump directly north into the void. Link will hit the loading trigger for the boss room and you can fight the boss straight away. For Phantom Ganon, the real one is brighter and makes noise. He can be hit with the hookshot if you're close enough, and of course the bow. Once he pops out, you can jump slash and get Navi G, and hit his balls back at him with ease and take him down quickly. Next up, Fire Temple. Do be aware that you'll require several small keys at the start just to make any progress in the dungeon at all, so if you're doing no logic, you might get screwed. You can actually do a trick called a Weirdshot to get the boss key chest, but I suck at Weirdshot, so I'll leave a link to a good tutorial for it in the description. This Song of Time block can be skipped by coming out of the door below it, holding ESS to face forward, 3 side hops left, 2 backflips, 1 side hop right, and a dry roll while holding up, and Link jumps up here, skipping the need for the Song of Time. There's only a Gold Skull tool up here, but if you need him or are doing Skull Sanity, there you go. In this room, you can do a big skip by getting into this corner, facing this wall, then letting go of target. Now hold shield and look as right as you can, then crouch stab twice. Immediately shield drop a bomb when the small cutscene ends, and then face this wall in the corner next to the block and hold up. Link clips through the wall and can hit this switch, getting him a chest and access to this upper level early. A tip for the mini boss, jump slash with the Master Sword to store jump slash damage. You can then crouch stab with the hammer against the block in the middle to make the little fella pop out, and then go over to him and crouch stab with the Master Sword to deal big damage. 3 times and he's out. Of course, if you don't have hammer yet, you'll just have to use the normal hookshot method. The only other tip I have for Fire Temple is the Fire Temple boss key skip. In the room where you usually get the hammer, run to the end of the path the rolling boulder is on. Get into this corner, then aim at the edge of this wall with hookshot. You may have to eyeball it if you don't have the hookshot, good luck. Then hold target and head over to this wall. You will need hammer, which you will also require to kill Volvagia, so you probably wouldn't be attempting this without hammer anyway. Well, maybe you have boss shuffle on. Either way, you will need hammer. Hit the hammer on the wall, and on this frame pause, and equip the hover boots. Hold up right while still holding target. After you clip, you can move the stick a little more right in order to move to about here. Once you see the door, hold up and jump slash. If done correctly, you should hit the boss room loading trigger. For Volvagia, you can actually bomb the last hole it went into, such as the hole right in front of Link at the start of the battle. This damages Volvagia a bit. There's a method called the 1-3-3 method to one-cycle Volvagia with 7 bombs. I'll link a video in the description because I didn't do it when I recorded. It's not exactly necessary anyway. You may not even have enough bombs anyway. If you do decide to do the fight as normal, the only other tip I can give you is that when Volvagia is flying around, you can grab onto the ledge and you should be able to avoid almost all the falling rocks. You might still get unlucky, but 99% of the time you're nice and safe. For Water Temple, I recommend just skipping straight to Morpha. Water Temple has a lot of small keys, so unless you've shuffled keys to be anywhere, chances are you won't really need to do Water Temple. On the off chance Light Arrows is in Water Temple, Ganondorf will actually give you a hint to where Light Arrows are on Randomizer if you still need them and you can access Ganondorf. If you don't have Iron Boots, you can get in Water Temple by doing this clip. Target the stone above Water Temple on this side, side hop right, then side roll. Don't let go of target. Side hop left, now untarget and turn 90 degrees left. Dry roll into the stone. Backflip. You can pull sword out as you backflip or just take it out without moving by hitting shield right after B. From here, do 3 ESS turns to the right. Do 3 side hops right. Hold target and backwalk. Once the rock seems to get to this dark patch, do a jump slash and rotate the stick from down to left to up during the jump slash, and you should clip through the wall. From there, just swim over to above the Water Temple and you should hit the loading trigger. On the off chance you actually want to do Water Temple, instead of skipping straight to the boss, the only thing I can really offer you is that you can do a setup to get to the cracked wall super easily. I didn't record any footage, so here's footage from an old randomizer I did, and some text on how to do it. It's not very hard. Also, on the bottom floor, you can use hover boots to get over the spikes. If I recall correctly, you backwalk, pause, equip hover boots, unpause, and at the end of your hover, you can backflip to make the rest of the way. This skips needing launch shot. But most of the time, you aren't going to need to do Water Temple at all, besides possibly the medallion / stone from the boss, depending on your settings. So let's go over how to do the boss key skip. Straight away, upon entering Water Temple, if you have the launch shot, you can just pop over there. If not, there's 2 things you could do, both require hover boots. If you have hammer and hover boots, you can just target this wall, hit the wall with the hammer. On this frame, pause and equip hover boots, hold down as you unpause. The recoil speed from the hammer sends you all the way across the gap. If you don't have hammer but you have bombs, you can do Superslide across the gap. Start the Superslide on the side of the tower in the middle because it's easier that way. Once the Superslide begins, pause and equip hover boots, hold down as you unpause to make Link turn around and it'll make it across. In this room, just backwalk up the slope. If you get hit, oh well, just try again. In order to do the boss key skip, first get Navi ISG from the door, go over to this pillar, put your back to it, shield drop a bomb, side hop right, shield drop another bomb, get in between the bombs, hold target and shield, then backflip as each bomb explodes to do a hover. Now that you're hovering, place a bomb down. Don't shield drop it, actually place it down by pressing the bomb button twice. When the bomb explodes, hit B to pull out your sword, and Link gets pushed into the door. And you can just walk into the boss room. Morpher is super easy as long as you at least have the hookshot. It is possible to kill Morpher without the hookshot by jump slashing towards its body in the water, but I don't recommend it. Simply grab Morpher over and over to drag it towards a corner. Keep hitting hookshot and walk around it, slash Morpher with B, then immediately jump slash, then immediately start spamming crouch stab. This causes Morpher to get stuck in the corner and it dies very quickly. Shadow Temple is actually one of the funnest dungeons. There's a lot of chests in it too, so it can be quite valuable for Randomizer. When you're doing the puzzle here that usually requires Lens of Truth, you can cheese it quite easily by pushing it, then starting a roll to the side, immediately hit pause and equip the hover boots. If you're wrong, you won't fall thanks to the hover boots. If you're right, well then you're right. At this gap, if you manage to solve the puzzle without hover boots and you don't have hover boots, you can do a Megaflip to get to the other side. I don't really have any tips for the first half of Shadow before the boat, so you can just do it as normal. But if you don't need any chests there, you can actually skip straight to the boat. In the scythe room, fall down the hidden hole. Get into the corner, 3 side hops left, make sure you equip Master Sword. Do a sword slash and immediately shield. Do another sword slash and immediately shield. Do a third sword slash, but don't shield this time. Now, just jump slash twice to clip through the gate. You can avoid pushing the block by jumping on the wheel of the boat, but be wary of missing it and voiding out. Zelda's Lullaby is required for the boat, so keep that in mind. Once you're on the boat ride, you can walk to the back of the boat and the Stalfos will off themselves. From here you can head to the boss room if you have a small key, otherwise you can enter the other rooms and look for one. In this room with the wooden walls, you typically use Din's fire to burn the walls away, but if you run up to the wall right as you enter, the Redead will freeze Link, but the wall stops for no one, and just goes through Link. Now, you can open the chest. Once the wall is closed, Link will void out. Make sure you have enough health for this. You can do it on the other side for the other chest as well. If you don't have bow, you can do a super slide with hover boots to cross this gap. Once you make it to the boss door, you can do a boss key skip. This is the toughest one, so buckle up. First, dry roll to grab the ledge and climb up. Then, side hop left to hug the wall. Pull out a bomb chew. Continue holding target. Pause on the frame where it's the third time when the bomb chew is darkest blue. Unpause. Still holding target and backwalk. This causes the chew to go off on its adventure. You want to climb up as soon as possible. Hold left while climbing up, then start pause buffering when Link turns left. On this frame where Link's feet are about to separate, unpause and hold down and left. And pause buffer one frame. It should look like this if you are successful. Now, continue holding left but unpause and spam A to roll. Pause as soon as you start rolling and let go of every button. Start pause buffering. On this frame, where Link is almost T-posing, you unpause and hold target as you unpause. I believe this causes a ledge clip and the bomb chew then pushes you into the loading trigger for the boss room. Bongo Bongo can be tricky, doubly so if you don't have lens. So here's how to kill him with ease. This only works on the 1.0 and 1.1 version of Ocarina of Time. The randomizer uses the 1.0 version, so no problem there. Walk over to the left side of the hole from where you entered. Shield drop a bomb into the hole, turn left, back walk into the hole, and then jump slash. The bomb hits Bongo, who's loaded down there, stunning him. This causes two things. One, the intro cutscene for him never plays, and two, he's super invisible. Even if you had lens, you couldn't see him. Luckily, we don't need to see him. We arrive shortly after he is stunned with our jump slash hurting him. We can now power crouch stab him to death. So long, Bongo Bongo. The final dungeon is Spirit Temple. There are some very difficult clips you can do to skip past the silver block or even clip into the child side as adult Link. I'll leave tutorials to both in the description. I've only ever done them once with lots of save states and lots of time. Very challenging. Other than that, I don't have much advice. You can do the child side puzzles as adult Link with a equip swap if you want, but other than that, you can just skip right to the end of the dungeon. If you do the dungeon normally, you won't have to worry about clipping into the statue, but if you don't want to do the dungeon normally, or you don't need to check the chests in the dungeon, or you can't for whatever reason, you can climb the statue and clip through its head to get to the boss door. Get on the statue's left hand, walk up its arm. You can get ISG to make it easier. Get into the corner, target the wall, and pull out a bomb. Hold target. When the bomb explodes, make sure you're still holding target. It will push Link through the wall. As soon as Link clips out of bounds, hold shield. He will recoil back in bounds up here on the shoulder piece. Do 2 side hops left, then crouch stab. Do 2 side hops left, wait for this little slide to end. Jump slash and hold shield. I highly recommend doing a save state here if you can. Do 2 side hops left and do a jump slash in midair around this frame. As you jump slash, hold up and shield. Do a shield turn by letting go and repressing the shield button until you're facing pretty much upright. Side hop left. Turn 180 degrees and pull out Hookshot. Perform Hookshot extension. This lets Link actually hit the grate through the wall. Hookshot extension is rather easy. Just aim with the hookshot, hold up, press A, then immediately hold the hookshot button. Now you can hookshot the grate. Bam, you're in. It's not as bad as it seems, I promise. To perform the boss key skip, it's exactly the same as the Water Temple one. Navi ISG off the door, bomb hover, place a bomb, hit B as it explodes, walk in. When facing Twin Rova, here's some tips. During the first phase, you can spam the hookshot button when one sister starts charging her magic. This causes the other sister to spin in place, allowing you to get an easy shot in, unless you suck like me. During the second phase, you can get a 1-cycle kill with power crouch stab. As soon as you blast your load all over Twin Rova, jump across, do a jump slash in midair, try not to miss like me, and then power crouch stab with good timing, and she goes down. You can see it's extremely easy with Big Goron's sword. I missed the initial jump slash and still got it. It's harder, but very possible with just Master Sword. For Ganon's Castle, I don't have much advice. You can clip through the Gold Gauntlets block to get into Light Trial if you need to. Usually you won't need to, but if you have Ganon's Castle open on your rando settings, it could have some goodies. For Ganondorf, he takes big damage from Big Goron's sword, so use it if you got it. When the battle starts, you can actually fall a bit with these blocks, then climb up here. He won't slam again, and you can pull out Bottle. When he shoots his ball, you can send it back so fast with the bottle that he'll get hit immediately, and you can shoot him with a light arrow. You can then power crouch stab him. If your timing is excellent, I believe you can one cycle with the Master Sword, but it's tough. One cycling is quite easy with Big Goron's sword, however. For the Beast Ganon fight, you can super slide into the cutscene and continue holding shield. This will make it so you keep Master Sword at the start of the fight. Beast Ganon takes extra damage from the Master Sword, going so far as to deal more damage than the Big Goron sword, so this is quite handy and makes phase 1 go by quickly. You do still have to pick up the Master Sword before phase 2, quite oddly. You can roll under Ganon's legs to hit his tail easily, though be aware that he turns on a dime in phase 2, so unless you're very practiced, you may have to blast him in the face with a light arrow just to get a chance. And there you go. I hope this video allows you to spice up your randomizers and helps you out if you're ever in a pinch. I also highly recommend watching ZFG do randomizers because he's very good at the game and does them almost every day. You can learn a lot of things about speeding up your randomizer just by watching him. I learned where every Skulltula in the game resides just by watching him, in fact. You can learn a lot about good routing to get the most checks and little tricks to get around faster. I've learned quite a deal just by watching him, so you could too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time, and make sure to check out my Ocarina of Time challenge run video, as well as anything else that catches your fancy on my channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon with either a Fire Emblem or another Final Fantasy challenge run. Thanks again, and goodbye.